Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. It's time for our second Dragonstorm deck breakdown. If you guys missed it, a couple days ago they had a full reveal of a bunch of things for Tarkir Dragonstorm, and then yesterday they released a full video and article about the first deck, which was Jeskai Striker. Today we're looking at Mardu Surge, and then every day we're going to be releasing another video on each of the decks. If you guys are new, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this deck of today? And give the video a thumbs up because it helps the YouTube algorithm. So, as I said, today it's Mardu Surge's time. This is going to be a red, white, and black deck. This is the one with the main orc dude. They had a full deck reveal on this YouTube channel, which again, I don't know who it is, but I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments who it is. Yesterday, if you guys missed it, was right up here, which was Jeskai Striker. So we did a full breakdown of all the cards. And like I said, today, Mardu Surge. So let's jump right into it. This one, here are your two main commanders. You got Zurgo, Stormrender, and Nariv, Crackling Vanguard. So we're looking at Zurgo first, the Orc Warrior. He has Mobilize 1. Whenever this creature attacks, you create a tapped attacking 1/1 warrior creature token, and you sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So whenever you attack, you just have like a little army that helps you with there, which is one creature. Whenever a creature token you control leaves the battlefield, you get to draw a card if it was attacking. Otherwise, each opponent loses one life. So you attack with Zurgo, creature spawns, it also attacks, and when that creature leaves, you get to draw a card. Pretty cool combo on itself without any other cards in the deck. So I'm curious to see how it's going to work with the rest of it. Nariv, the dragon side of things, has Flying and Death Touch, and when this card enters, create 2 red goblin creature tokens. Whenever Nariv attacks, exile number of cards from the top of your library equal to the number of differently named tokens you control. During any turn you attack with a commander, you may play those cards. So really cool. You're going to, over time, build a little exile pile, and then you'll get to play those cards. So very cool. It's like a second hand there too. Not bad. First impression, not as exciting for me when it comes to their actual abilities compared to some of the other decks, but I am curious to see what the full breakdown is, and let's jump right into it. So 100 card decks as always. The full breakdown here, he only has 5 1 cost, 17 2, 18 3 cost, 12 4 cost, and then 7 5 cost, and then 1 2 and 1 for the 6 7 and 1 6 7 8. Sorry, not bad. It does seem a little bit more on the expensive side compared to the deck from yesterday. Not a fairly expensive deck, but more expensive than the one from yesterday. Mana colors, lots of white, 21 solo white cards. You've got 13 red and 11 blue, or 11 red, sorry, and only 6 multicolor. So it is a lot more specific than the previous one. And then the card types, the usual here. Looking at the actual deck, this one has a huge amount of creatures, 32 creatures in this deck, 11 artifacts, only 6 sorceries, 1 planeswalker, which is always fun. The usual 37 lands, and lots of them are going to be dual color lands. And then here you got 5 plains, swamps, and mountain. And only 6 enchantments and 7 instant cards. So very much focus on the creature side of things. Let's see here at the bottom, all the tokens. Great. So now let's kind of look at all the creatures, sorceries, and all that, and see how good the deck is. The idea, I'm guessing, is that you're going to want to play a deck that's going to create a lot of tokens and a lot of things where the tokens are going to be showing up, doing something, and then leaving to activate the abilities of your commander. So those are the 2 things we're mostly looking for to see if it meshes well with the rest. So Zurgo we already looked at, and Nariv looked at. Anok Strike Leader. That's a pretty cool dog warrior there. Whenever you attack with this creature and or your commander, for each opponent, create a red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking that player. Sacrifice this creature, and creature tokens you control gain indestructible until end of turn. So there you go, first card already. We're creating some tokens, so fits already pretty simply there. Iron Will Forger, 3 and a white. Lieutenant, what does that do? At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, target non-legendary creature you control gains Myriad until end of turn. And Myriad is whenever it attacks for each opponent other than defending player, you may create a token that's also attacking. So if you have a squirrel, or let's say a goblin in this case, attacking player 1, then you also create another goblin token that's attacking player 2. So it just spreads out the amount of damage. So pretty simple there. Bone Devourer. Oh, I like the art on this one. Creature Dragon. Flash Flying. This creature enters with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the number of creatures that died this turn. When this creature dies, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on it. So a bonus and a negative to this card, so not too bad there. Goldlust Triad, another really cool dragon there. Flying in Myriad again. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. So more tokens there. Redoubled Stormsinger. First strike. Whenever this creature attacks, for each creature token you control that entered this turn, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of that token. At the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice those tokens. Oh my god, so basically you're doubling all the tokens that are attacking. Very strong card when you combine it with a couple of the other stuff we saw so far. Where was that? Adeline Resplendid Cathar. Vigilance. Adeline's power is equal to the number of creatures you control. So again, having creature tokens is going to make this card way stronger. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. Oh my goodness. So immediately you're going to get a buff to this one. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 here. So if you're attacking, let's say, a 3-player game, you instantly get this one to a 3/4 because you're creating also 3 human creature tokens. Angel of Invention, Flying, Vigilance, Lifelink, Fabricate. I've never heard of that one. When this creature enters, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, or create 2 colorless servo artifact creature tokens, and all other creatures you control get +1/+1. That's really strong compared to everything else. I will say, I was kind of shocked to see the amount of white ability cards. I kind of thought this one would be focused more on red, but pretty cool still. Let's see. Emeria Angel, Flying Landfall, creates bird tokens. Hero of Blade Hold, Battle Cry. Whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1 until end of turn. That's awesome. Whenever this creature attacks, create 2 soldier tokens. So again, lots of token stuff here. Sacrifices, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. The Sun Titan, I've seen this card before, really cool. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, you may return a target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So every time you attack, you can revive one of your dead cards. Very cool. Twilight Drover. Whenever a creature token leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on this one. So again, this works really well with the other one. All of your creatures are spawning, attacking, and disappearing, and every time they disappear, Twilight Drover gets stronger. Chittering Witch, I've seen that one a couple times before. I think this is a rat. Yeah, rat creature tokens. Gix. Ooh, this one's really cool. Jix or Gix, I'm not sure. Yawgmoth Praetor. That's a really cool card. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay 1 life. If they do, they draw a card. And then you have discard X cards, where exile the top X cards of target opponent's library. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. That is a really good card if you can keep it, because that's going to be turn 1, you're playing 2 blacks and a colorless, and then after that, you're going to play 3 blacks and then 4 colorless and discard cards to be able to pull that off. But that's a really cool combo. Let's scroll down here. Mind Blade Render. Really cool art. Once again, the Azra Warrior. Whenever your opponents are dealt combat damage, if any of that damage was dealt by a warrior, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Again, up and down on there. Ophiomancer. Another really cool art here. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you control no snakes, create a 1/1 black snake creature token with Deft Touch. Oh, that's awesome. What is this? Yaheni Undying Partisan. Really like the art on this one. An Aetherborn Vampire. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Yahini and sacrifice another creature, and this card gains indestructible. Grenzo? That's really cool. Another goblin here. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, choose 1. You can either go to target creature that player controls, or exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may cast that, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. Very cool. Legion Warboss. That's another fun little one here. Mentor, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. That token gains haste until end of turn. Ogre Battle Driver. The control gains haste and +2. Pretty simple. Siege Gang Commander. So we're now into the goblin section and goblin and ogre section here. As a creature enters, create 3 red goblin creature tokens. Very cool. Oh my god, what is this thing? Mere Battlesphere. When this creature enters, create 4 colorless Mere artifact creature tokens. Oh wow. Whenever this creature attacks, you may tap X untap Mirror you control. If you do, this creature gets +X until end of turn, and deals X damage to that player or planeswalker. Oh, damn, that's pretty strong. Then we got the Solemn Simulacrum? Is that how you say it? When this creature enters, you may search your library for a basic land, put that card onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. When this creature dies, you may draw a card. Gold Knight Commander. Cool, +1/+1 until end of turn. Morbid Opportunist, seen that one a couple times. Whenever one or more creature dies, draw a card. Only triggers once per turn. Viscera Seer. Sacrifice a creature, scry 1. Beetleback Chief. Creature enters, create 2 red goblin creature tokens. Loyal Apprentice. Here, let me scroll down a bit so we can see better. Loyal Apprentice, come on up. Lieutenant and Haste. Aaron Benelia's Ruin. That's really cool. I like the armor this person's wearing. Menace, and you can use black and white and tap. Sacrifice another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That's really good if you're building a huge army of tokens. And Phallus Reverent Medium. Another really cool art here. Beginning of each end step, create X1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn. Oh man, that's going to get really strong very quickly. And then that's it for the creatures. First thought, I see the combo pretty simple. Create a bunch of creature tokens, put them on the board, send them to die and send them to fight. Not the kind of deck that I personally love to play. It reminds me a lot of the basic Goblin decks where if you've ever played MTG Arena, the basic Goblin red deck was like, here, build 100 little goblins and send them all to fight. So it reminds me a lot of that. Those are my first thoughts. It's cool. It's just not the kind of deck I like. I prefer 1 or 2 massive strong characters over 100 little dudes, but it is a fun little one for people who like that kind of deck. When it comes to the artifacts, we got the usual like Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, all that stuff. Let's just see if there's anything specific here. Infantry Shield, equipment. Creature has Menace and Mobilize X, where X is its power, so that could be really good. Blade of Selves. Equipped creature has Myriad, so that's always good. Idol of Oblivion. Draw a card, activate only if you created a token this turn, which is pretty simple. And sacrifice this card, create a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token. Lightning Greaves. Equipped creature has Haste and Shroud. Skull Clamp. Creature gets +1 and -1. Nah, not the best. Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, pretty good. The Stone here, add 1 mana of any color, more mana stuff. One thing I do find a little bit weird, and this might just be me being picky, it kind of feels like I would have expected the deck, if you're going to create a bunch of tokens, to have... Oh, you know what? Okay, I can kind of see why. So, the Zergo Stormrender, the Orc Warrior, I feel like if it was him and the deck was focused on him, it would make sense for the goblin, like the tokens to all be the same thing. All goblins, all orcs, all whatever. But it is a little bit weird that the tokens that are being created are kind of a bit of everything. You know, we just saw Eldrazi. Pretty sure there was a bird somewhere in here too. Then there was the servo tokens. Then you've got the goblin tokens. It felt a little bit weird to see that it's like just a bunch of tokens of a lot of different things instead of being focused on one thing. But then you actually read Nariv and it makes more sense because Nariv, exile number of cards from the top of your library equal to the number of differently named tokens you control. So I think that's kind of why. It does thematically, I feel like it's a little bit weird that at the end of the day, if I pull off like the coolest combo ever, I have an orc warrior or a dragon leading an army of a bit of everything, which feels a little bit weird. It's maybe just more of a personal touch of myself. I kind of would have preferred if it was all like, hey, we're building an army of goblin and orcs instead of it being, again, like I said, birds. Was it this card? Now I've got to find them. But anyways, you heard me read them all. We created birds. We created goblins. We created the servos somewhere in there too. We created an Eldrazi. Just feels weird that it's a bit all over the place, but it makes sense with the dragon. So I'll give it some slack on that side. But let me know what you think. Is that something that's a little bit annoying for you guys or not? When it comes to sorcery, I'm guessing there's going to be a board wipe in here. Convoke. Your creatures can help cast this spell. Each creature you tap while casting the spell pays 1 for 1 mana of that creature's color. Destroy all non-token creatures. See, okay, there you go. That's a good one, I feel like, because it's not a full board wipe. It's a board wipe most likely specifically for your opponents, because if you're building an army of tokens, you're going to be able to keep yours and they won't die, which is really good. Eliminate the competition. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice creatures. Oh, so for the amount of creatures you sacrifice, you can destroy X amount of target creatures. Again, a really good board wipe for this kind of deck where you can sacrifice 15 little goblins that are doing nothing to destroy 15 opponent cards and then keep all your strong ones to attack. So that's another really good board wipe there. Tempt with Vengeance. Create X 1/1 red. Okay, elemental creature. So again, a different kind of token here with haste. Each opponent may create X red elemental creature tokens with haste. For each opponent who does, create X. What? Oh, I see. So if I decide I'm going to make 5 elemental tokens, you also can make 5. But if you do that, I get an additional 5. So I'll be at 10 and you'll be at 5. Very weird way of explaining it, I feel like, but makes sense. Right, and it's X is the cost. Shadow Summoning. Create 2 tapped 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. So again, different kind of tokens. Create 2 white spirit creature tokens with flying. Another one there with flashback. And release the dog. Create 4 dog creature tokens. So again, a different style of tokens there too. Instance. Choose 1. If you control controller, you can cast more than 1. Red warrior creature tokens. Deals damage to target creature equal to the number of creatures you control. So again, building up that army. Green and white citizen. Again, a different kind of token. I feel like you're going to have to, like, there's no way they're giving us enough tokens, right? Goblin one side, soldier, angel, and spirit. But I only have 1 of each. Human and rat, treasure and spirit. Dogs and goblin. Warrior and elemental. Oh, there's the Eldrazi, the snakes. I forgot we also had snakes and the mirror. Warrior and bird. Thopters are also going to be created in servo. So yeah, you get basically 1 of each token. Then you just gotta like put dice on them or duplicates of them. It's gonna be a very annoying deck to keep track of all your stuff. Enchantments, great, and the lands. I just want to see what the Planeswalker is. Kaya Geist Hunter, I'm guessing. It's a really cool art. I like the colors on this one. +1, creatures you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. Token, sorry, you control. -2 is until end of turn. If one or more token would be created under your control, twice that many of those are created. Why not just say double it? That's such a weird way. And then -6, exile all cards from all graveyards, then create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying for each card exiled that way. That is really strong. I love playing Planeswalker cards, so that's a personal preference of mine. I always love playing them. So there you go. That is Mardu Surge? Yeah, Mardu Surge. I'd love to know what you guys think. This so far, I would definitely think Jeskai Striker, the deck from yesterday, is more my style, but they're both kind of like not my preferred way of playing. This one, like I said, is just create a bunch of tokens. And like, if you guys don't know, my first ever commander deck was the Bloomburrow Squirreled Away, which that one is all a squirrel deck of tokens. So you're building just an army of squirrels, and I really liked how simple it was. It was squirrels and rats were basically what you're building. Love the theme of it. This one seems like a same idea. So it's definitely not something I want to go out of my way to get just because I have a token deck already, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you guys prefer playing these, not playing them? Let me know. Pretty simple. I will be back. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow is the release of the 3rd deck, which is this one over here, Sultai Arisen. However, as I mentioned yesterday, I will be working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then I'll also be working Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., which means that, unfortunately for me, on the content creator side of things, I always have to plan videos ahead for Saturday or Fridays. So tomorrow, there will be a video releasing about a booster battle, and then I will be back on the weekend as soon as I can to give you guys my thoughts on the 3rd deck, Sultai Arisen. But then Monday, Tuesday, we'll be there right away for the last 2 decks as well. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.